Welcome to another stock market analysis video, and here are the 3 stocks na pag-uusapan ko sa video na to. So that's Maynilad, Robinsons Retail, and Nickel Corporation. So as usual, before ko pag-usapan itong tatlong stocks na to, puntahan muna natin yung PSEI chart para sa overall market conditions. So for the PSEI chart, last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to nung March 12, so last week. And during this period, the levels na na-plot ko na tingin ko is very important, andito na yung S1 and S2 along with the resistance levels dito sa R1 and R2. So last time na napag-usapan ko yung PSEI along with my recent videos, madalas kong nasasabi na hindi magiging maganda for the market if the price of oil goes above 100 and stays above that level, kasi ito yung naging recent swing low ng PSEI, nasa 5.9 na level nung pumalo ng 100 yung price ng oil pataas. Although saglit lang yun, within the day or just a few hours after that, bumaba naman yung price. So ngayon, yung PSEI hindi siya masyadong gumagalaw because mataas pa rin yung price ng oil, nasa 90 plus. Pero somehow nagkakaroon siya ng consolidation or nagkakaroon ng stability this past week. So, andito pa rin yung price ng PSEI dahil malapit naman yung price ng oil sa 100, At any time na magkaroon ng escalation sa Middle East conflict, posible talaga na yung price ng oil mag-go above ng 100. And na-mention ko na nga to several times, if the price of oil goes above 100, 110, 120, hindi na nakakagulat kung pupunta yung PSEI sa levels na to around 5.5 to 5.6 kasi ayun yung next na support. So, mukhang nasusunod naman yung bias ko with regards to the consolidation of the PSEI. So, naglagay kasi ako ng box dito ng in between support 1 tapos R1. Tapos, ganun pa rin naman yung naisip ko na galaw niya. If the price of oil pag nag-stabilize, siguro between 80 to 90 or 85 to 90 dollars per barrel, yung PSEI, ito lang yung magiging galaw niya sa levels na to. So, inaantay na lang talaga ng PSEI kung kaya bang bumaba ng oil ng below 80 and hindi na siya mag-go above ng 80, Kumbaga, dapat pag nag-80 below siya, mag-stay na siya doon or bumaba pa. And hindi na tumaas, of course, ng 100 anytime soon kasi pwede niyang botasin itong levels na to. So, for the first stock na i-review ko for this video, that's Maynilad. So, for Maynilad, the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, medyo matagal na, nung first week pa ng January, And during this time, I was able to plot certain levels na kung saan nagstay lang yung Maynilad sa loob ng consolidation na to for several days. So, nakapag-breakout siya nung January 19, pero bumalik lang din ulit dito sa loob ng box, So, you could say na for the whole month of January, andito lang siya sa levels na to. Pero, nung first week February, ayun, tumaas na siya. And the reason for that, I think, napaprice in yung dividends na dineclare niya. So, ito yan. During this period, around 5.44% yung cash div upon the announcement nung February 24. So I believe ayun yung naging main catalyst ng Maynilad for this run-up na maraming mga investors na pumasok because of the dividends. So I guess I'll have to remove all the drawings here since sobrang tagal na since napag-usapan ko siya, and I need to adjust ulit yung bago niyang ginagawang patterns or mga key levels. So zoom in lang tayo ng onte. So for Maynilad, it's very obvious na ito yung kanyang resistance sa ngayon, yung 22.35. Syempre, ayan yung kanyang all-time high, which is also the 52-week high, So, lalagyan ko lang muna to ng R as an indication na resistance. Tingnan natin kung may possible resistance pa siya dito sa area na to. So, nakakita rin ako ng possible na resistance around this area. So, makikita natin nagkaroon ng swing dito sa level na to. Although baka maging minor resistance lang itong 20.50. So, eto siya. So, it's either ito yung major resistance tapos minor resistance lang to. So, in that case, ilalagay ko pa rin ito na R1 tapos ito yung R2. And it's very clear dahil ito yung current support ng stock. Yan din yung kanyang current swing low sa 18.90. So, syempre, yan yung magiging S1. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung galaw ng Maynilad, it's possible na mag-create siya ng consolidation around this level up until lumakas yung buying pressure para mabutas niya tong 20-50 na price area. Kung malakas naman yung selling, then it's possible na mabutas niya tong level na to. So, the question is saan yung next na possible support? So, may consolidation kasi dito before. So, pag in-extend ko yan, no, it's very clear na ito yung next na support area ng Maynilad. So, pag nilagyan ko ng line dito, ito yung possible na S2 niya. So, around 18.24. And then, yung bottom part ng range niya dito, syempre, yung magiging S3. It's also good to note na may kine-create na trend line, yung Maynilad. So, ito siya. Ito yung point A, ito yung point B. And then, somehow, nakalagpas siya dito, no? Nag-breakout siya dyan sa trend line. So, previously kasi, nung hindi pa nangyayari tong breakout na to kanina, ng March 18, yung masasabi nating trajectory ng Maynilad, it's either magstay siya sa conso or pumunta siya sa ilalim dito sa S2. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, since nalagpasan niya tong trend line, mas tumataas na yung chance na ang gawin niyang pattern is yung box. So, hindi ko lang sure kung ano yung pwedeng maging catalyst ng Maynilad para mapa-breakout siya dito sa resistance niya sa 20 plus, no, 2050. Dahil tapos na yung catalyst niya when it comes to the dividends sa ngayon. So, probably a good quarterly report yung makapagpatulak sa kanya outside of this box, no, in order to move higher. So, pag nilabas ko yung MA20, it's very clear na the stock transitioned from a short-term uptrend towards a short-term downtrend, no. Tapos ngayon, nagkakaroon na siya ng consolidation. Kapag yung MA50 naman, currently, nag-act as support yung MA50. So, this means Maynilad wants to maintain yung kanyang medium-term na uptrend, no. So, hindi talaga maganda sa stock na to pag nabutas niya tong S1 because that could indicate a medium-term downtrend or medium-term consolidation. So, pag nabutas niya tong level na to, pwedeng sa ilalim siya ng S1 magkaroon ng bagong consolidation and up until S3 na base, no? So, pwedeng pag nabutas niya yung MA50, dito siya mag-create ng consolidation. So, wala pang MA100 yung stock if I put it out there, no? Hindi pa kasi masyadong maraming candles yung ginagawa ng stock dahil kaka-IPO pa lang niya last year. But if the stock is already up sa MA50, then it's an okay assumption din naman to say na nasa long-term uptrend pa yung Maynilad, no? Wag lang talagang mabutas itong S1 support niya. So, for the next stock, that's Robinsons Retail. So, for Robinsons Retail, the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock, last week pa ng January. So, January 30. Ito siya. And when I talked about this stock, very simple lang. May potential siya na magstay inside the box between S1 and R1. Tapos, kapag nakapag-breakout siya sa R1 na resistance, tapos kaya niyang masustain, then it's a potential na abutin niya yung R2 resistance niya. So, if I'm going to check kung anong nangyari sa kanya for the past few weeks, we can see that the levels na na-plot ko, nagkaroon naman ng significant na move yung Robinsons Retail sa mga levels na yon. As you can see dito sa level na to, nagstay lang yung RRHI sa consolidation and then nung nagkaroon ng breakout tapos na-sustain niya tong move ng March 5, ang ganda na sana nung galaw, no? It's just a few percentages to hit yung R2 which is around 2.29%, so less than 3%, no? Kaso alam naman natin kung ano yung nangyari during this time. Nag-escalate syempre yung issue sa Middle East. So, hindi lang naman RRHI yung naapektuhan ng bentahan na yan. The entire market, no, nag-suffer. But, ang kinaganda dito sa RRHI, yung S1 na plot ko was able to support this level naman. So, nag-serve as a good support yung level na to. So, it established a double bottom support in the short term. And binalikan niya lang yung consolidation, no? And then ngayon, naabot niya yung R2 na resistance, pero ito nga, nagkakaroon ng mahirap na breakout or magandang follow-through kasi hindi naman talaga sobrang ganda ng market. But that's good enough na kung saan nakapag-try siya na mag-breakout tapos i-test, no? So, tatanggalin ko na yung box na to since clearly, hindi naman na siya nasa loob ng consolidation. And this current R2, ito yung gagawin kong R1. Tapos, itong R1 sa 37.66, no, na area. So, around this level, ito na yung gagawin kong S1 pero para sa akin minor support kasi hindi pa niya napapakita na clear support siya. It's just that kino-consider ko siya as support dahil role reversal, dahil resistant siya dati. And then, itong double bottom niya na support, I think this is the major support level talaga. Pero para sa akin, S2 yan. Kasi double bottom eh. So, pag nahulog pa yung RHI, pag hindi kinaya ng S1 support, tas napunta siya dito, it's possible na maging triple bottom. And of course, itong S2, ito na yung gagawin kong S3 support. And syempre, ito na yung R2. So, if I'm going to zoom out a little bit, makikita natin yung mga succeeding resistances pa ng RHI dito sa 40.90 papuntang 41.62. So, ito siya. So, ito kasi yung range resistance niya na kung saan several times na talagang pinipigilan ng price na yan, yung stock na to na gumanda talaga yung galaw. So, I think yan yung current na price level na kailangan bantayan for RRHI kung kaya niya bang lagpasan yan tapos mag-close siya above ng 42. Because that would be an indication na maganda talaga yung galaw ng stock. So, sa ngayon, it's possible na pag hindi pa talaga malakas yung buying pressure, mag-create lang siya ng consolidation around this area. So, it's either pag sobrang lakas na talaga ng buying, i-test niya kaagad yung R2 na resistance. Kung hindi naman masyado, baka mag-consolidate lang siya sa loob. And if the S1 support is not a strong support, pag nabutas na yan, then of course, S2 yung nakikita kong possible na strong support niya. So, before I talk about the next stock, if you're new to this channel, madalas akong nakakapag-upload ng mga stock market analysis video kagaya nito. So, if you're finding value and learning a lot from this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe sa channel so you'll always be updated sa mga ibang stock market analysis videos na i-upload ko pa in the future. So, for the next stock, that's nickel. So, for nickel, the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, last week ng February. So, that's around Feb 25. Ito siya. And na-plot ko nga doon na resistance yung R1. And it's a possibility na mag-consolidate yung nickel sa levels na to sa consolidation niya between S1 to R1, which is around 5 price area. So, nag-consolidate naman siya at these levels. Ang problema lang, nag-suffer ng sobra yung nickel because of the Middle East conflict, no? Na kung saan tumaas yung price ng oil. So, of course, mag-i-increase yung expenses nila sa mga mining operations nila. So, it's a no-brainer na bababa talaga yung stock. Yung okay lang talaga siguro dito for nickel is that nag-support naman kahit papano yung S2 support. As you can see, hindi pa siya nagko-close below ng 450 area, no, during this period. So you can say this is a double bottom in the short term or triple bottom. So if I'm going to remove yung mga ibang drawings, no, it's very clear na ito na yung current consolidation ng nickel. So ibig sabihin, yung S1 support is around this level, yung 4.55 up until this area, yung 440. Kasi yan yung bottom ng range. Yan yung naabot niyang lowest during this period for February to March. So, the question is, ano yung next na possible support pag nabutas pa yung S1? So, nakikita natin na meron ditong interaction previously dahil meron siyang resistance sa area na to, no? Around 4 na price area. Tapos, nag-support din naman during this period. So, it's possible na pag nabutas tong S1, dito ang sunod niyang punta sa levels na to. So, para sa akin, ito yung S2, no? Yung malapit sa 4. And kapag lumakas naman yung stock for several possible catalyst na kung saan bumuti na yung conflict sa Middle East, kung tumaas man yung nickel prices, or may specific na magandang catalyst solely for nickel, tapos lumakas yung buying pressure, then it's possible na mabutas pa niya tong R1, no? And syempre, after that, the next resistance could be R2 or yung 6 na psych resistance. So, pag nilabas ko yung MA20, it's very clear na nag-downtrend na yung stock dahil nabutas niya na. So, we can see na ang ganda nung trend niya previously, pataas. Tapos, ito nga, nahulog na siya, no? For the MA50 naman, kakabutas pa lang ng MA50 ulit. And this means that the stock can move inside this consolidation but lower na ng MA50, no? I think this will serve as a strong moving resistance moving forward. So, kung wala masyadong magandang catalyst, baka mag-consolidate yung nickel below this level, no? Which means below 5 na area. Tapos, yung MA100 naman, andito pa rin sa ilalim. So, currently intact pa yung long-term trend ng nickel. Ang hindi lang talaga maganda pag nabutas niya yung S1. Kasi pag nabutas niya yung S1, it looks like butas na rin yung MA100, no? So, delikado yung long-term trend ng nickel. So, pag nabutas yung S1 tapos yung MA100, this is the last line of support, I think, for nickel, yung 4. Dahil pag nabutas niya yan, yung next na possible strong support, yung around 315 na area na or di kaya yung 345, no? So, ito na. Yung sunod niyang pupuntahan para sa akin yung S3 na support. So, hindi maganda na mabutas niya yung S1 along with the MA100 because that would mean ito na yung final support before the stock moves to a sudden downtrending na phase. If you haven't watched yung mga videos ko talking about specific stocks, you can click towards the upper right and my stock market lesson videos sa bottom right. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe sa channel na to so you'll always be updated sa future videos na i-upload ko pa.